Welcome to the Exposer. So we have some big news to report on. SPAC Nation's Toby Adebayega's brother, DAPO Adebuyega, has been exposed for allegedly scamming someone out of £195,940. So the story broke out saying exposed how UK-based Nigerian pastor DAPO Adebuyega defrauded me of M57 million, ex-church member. So bank documents show that DAPO took a loan of about £106,264 with interest amounting to £195,000 with Rachel's name and refused to pay everything back 8 years after. Documents have exposed how Reverend DAPO Adebuyega, the Board of Trustees, Chairman of Salvation Proclaimers Army Church, known as SPAC Nation, London, a Nigerian Pentecostal church based in the United Kingdom, may have defrauded a church member identified as Rachel Daniel of 110,000 and 103 million in 2012. Sahara Reporters was told that the former pastor with World Evangelism Bible Church, Webick, scammed his victim using lies, half-truths and manipulations. Bank documents show that DAPO took a loan of about 106,264 with interest amounting to 195,940 pounds with Rachel's name and refused to pay everything back 8 years after. A total of 85,000 was paid back in piecemeal fashion, leaving about 110,000 N57 200,000 million using N20 to £1 yet to be paid. Speaking of Sahara Reporters, the victim said her traumatic ordeals in the hands of the pastor started after he approached her that he wanted to purchase a property for the church and that she should assist him with a loan. When he was my resident pastor at World Evangelism Bible Church, Webick, he asked us to assist him secure a loan that he wanted to purchase a property for the church. This was in 2012. We had a board meeting where he said he needed our help, and I replied that I would approach my bank and get back to him. I never knew he had other means of securing a loan. He talked about 10,000 to 20,000 anyway. To cut the long story short, he met with a broker, Grant and Hines, who gave him 110,000 with interest amounting to 198,000, and the money was transferred into my own account. I was away when he called me that the money was in my account and that I should come back from my holiday and make the transfers, 90,000 to the church account and 20,000 to his own account. After that, he left the church with half of the members for his father's church. Before leaving, he said my money would be paid back in full. He even made mention of paying 50,000 that day, right there in the pulpit altar. When he finished talking, I approached him and he said I knew where the money went to, so why was I troubling him? My brother, I thought it was a joke. When this loan was taken initially, there was no agreement or anything of such. I never knew he made a repayment agreement for 35 years while he told me that after I have purchased the property, it would be within a month. Since 2017, I've refused to pay. I've been chasing them all over the place. I took a lawyer that wrote to them until he got tired and they refused to reply. They just received the letters and acted as if nothing happened. When I couldn't pay the lawyer anymore, I rested. In 2017 to 18, I couldn't cope with it. I tried contacting his younger brother, Toby Adebuyega, who is the main pastor of the dad's church here, and he gave me money for 2 months, 1,200, and promised to meet with the bank to clear the debt. Raquel said, to her surprise, Toby, like his elder brother, blocked her phone number after 4 months. Thereafter, Toby, refused to pay and answer my calls. It was a struggle to get him to pay for the 3rd month. By the 4th month, he literally blocked me completely. I couldn't reach him. I went to the father who is aware of everything. The father's name is Prophet Samson Adebuyega of SPAC Nation, Ibadan. He kept me posted like forever. He eventually asked me to write a soft appeal letter to Toby Adebuyega so that he could see what he could use to assist me. I wrote as soft as I could and sent to the father to send to him. Whenever I call the father, it's either he's sleeping or in a meeting for the past 5 years now. I'm just appealing to the general public to please ask Dapo Adebuyega of SPAC Nation to pay back Halifax loan of 198,000 he fraudulently took with my name. Asked why he did not go to the police, she replied, I actually went to the police over here in the UK, but they told me a lawyer knows what to do. But I couldn't afford to pay a lawyer anymore, so I rested. So you guys can see this runs clearly in the family. It runs clearly in the family. And I'll be putting in the description the exposing video of Toby's brother, so you guys can understand his history. So you guys can see. So Dapo approaches this woman who is part of his church and tells her that the church needs a new building and that she should acquire for a loan, which he will repay back in about a month. And he told her the loan will be about 10,000 to 20,000. And he ends up taking £105,000 with an interest rate to up to £195,000 without her consent. And she obviously believes in him. This is a senior pastor at the time, and this is a guy who she has 100% trust in. She would never believe, no one would really believe the senior pastor would do such a thing. And he ends up taking the money. He ends up running away with the money. He goes to SPAC Nation to join his brother Toby. And this lady now contacts his father. His father tells her to contact Toby. Toby then tells her that it will get sorted and that the debt will be cleared at the bank. Toby gives this lady £1,200 twice and then decides to block the lady. This is what went on. And can you imagine the stress? The lady obviously acquires a lawyer. She's gone to the police, but then she can no longer afford a lawyer. So she's left in a position where she's stranded. She doesn't know what to do. And this is how evil this man is. And it runs in the family, clearly. These guys came over to the UK to scam people. They came over to the UK with a plan of manipulating and deceiving the members into taking loans out. And because the members agree for the loan to be taken out, these guys abuse it by taking out more than they should. But because it's hard to prove that these guys have taken out more than they should, this is why it's hard for the police to make an arrest. And the only way into actually arresting them for things like this is by getting yourself a really good lawyer and really fighting. But that requires money, commitment, and time. And this is why a lot of the members who have been scammed and who have had loans taken out behind their back without their consent just end up giving up. But we know that allegedly Toby was the man arrested for similar actions, taken for allegedly, basically, frauds. And his brother has been doing the same thing for many, many years. And that's without people even thinking what his senior pastors at SPAC have done to so many young members in that organization. We've heard these stories. So this is what the pastors at SPAC have been trained to do. And this is clearly what Toby and his brother have been doing for a very long time, allegedly. This is why it's really important for us to continue this battle. We have said from the beginning, this will go on for a very long time, but we will not quit the fight because we know how many people have been saved from this place and how many people have moved on with their life from this place because of the fight that we've continued. These people need to feel like there's actually people out there who are with them. So remember, this incident happened in 2012. Can you imagine how many people it's happened to since 2012? We've seen on the panorama similar things. Many of the members, ex-members, saying that pastors at SPAC went behind the back and took out loans without their consent. And it's really, really, really evil of them. So we praying for all the people who have been scammed. We're praying for all the people who have been manipulated. We're praying for the members who are still there, who have gone through this, but are only remaining at SPAC because they're hoping that their debts gets cleared. And by God's grace, there will be a result. We've told you guys there's many things going on behind the scenes, and there's some serious things going on behind the scenes. Soon there will be court dates released, so you guys will know what's going on.